Lower my mic a little bit. Did this nigga disappear? Bro. There you go. You back. Man, take that damn hood off, man. You looking just like that damn you look like the Muslim brother of Minister Society. That goddamn hood on.
I put it on because I was gonna be sitting in the garage. I just didn't take it out yet. What the nigga named Sharif?
Yeah, Sharif, nigga. You look like one of them Hebrew Israelite brothers right now with a hood and a beard on. That's you, man. Goddamn.
Nigga about to kick some knowledge.
About to kick some knowledge. Anybody that's gonna tune in, anybody that's tuning in, man, we're gonna cover three particular topics. Men's entitlement, man. We gotta hold ourselves and other men accountable. So we're gonna talk about our entitlement. Dating on a budget. Dating on a budget. I think that's something that all men can identify with to a certain degree. I've been there. My man's been there. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk on it. And then we're going to react to a Kendra G video. Kendra G, she's been, you know, there's a lot of people that have stepped into the void left by Kevin Samuels in different ways, shapes, and forms. But she is, I think, the only one that's doing the thing where she discusses, she deals with people that call into her show and talk about what they're looking for. And there's other people that talk about other stuff that he used to talk about or whatever case, and other people that talk about the same shit that the manosphere talks about. But we're gonna react to a Kendra G video. I saw it, my partner didn't see it, but we're gonna get that going later. But for right now, men's entitlement. I'm gonna let you jump that off, bro. Are we a bit too entitled? Or is there a segment of our group, of our collective of men that's just too entitled?
Yeah, the first one that come to mind, I think it's in sections. The first one that come to mind are them dudes that think that just because they go on a date, they're entitled to some draws. Like, I don't know who wrote that rule or when did it come about, but they complain. They complain about spending $40 at Chili's and not getting anything for it. Like, what happened to a simple thank you? I appreciate it. I had a good time. Right. Yeah, it's like that was like the standard, which was and which is still sufficient. But they done went all the way over the edge and started expecting some butt. Like, dude, like, if you want to pay $40 for some tail, it's some women that will happily make that transaction with you, and it won't be no fuss, won't be no fight. She understand what she's there for. She understand what you there for. It's a transaction. You give her money, she give you draws. But right. they expect everyday women that's not in that business to operate as if they are in that business. Like, so you're basically telling these women that they're prostitutes. And they're clearly not.
I'm gonna give you some pushback. I'm gonna give some pushback today. I'm gonna be this dude today. Let me tell you this.
Let me be devil's advocate.
Let me tell you something.
Come on,
bro.
Come on.
The last thing I'm gonna do is pay for a meal, and she go get them draws to somebody else. The
That's the
last
risk you
thing
take.
I'm gonna do is give her a meal and my time, and old boy that ain't paying for no meals get them draws. What do you say to the men that feel like they are just a filler, a time slot for the next man that steps in and gets to cash out maybe on his hard work?
You lying? Simple
So
as that.
okay. So you will just call the dude lame, and I
Yeah.
get it. And Jennifer Shorter says instant gratification. Jennifer, you are 100% right. In this day and age, we are now in a society that we're in a microwave society. We want everything to happen fast. We don't want no delayed gratification. And we talked about that last time, that there are women who have lowered the bar. But there's
Mm-hmm.
this crop of dudes who feel entitled to women and based on the minimal effort. Now, there are a subgroup of those dudes that feel that they've been played for a meal or for a time or for a free outing. Me personally, I don't believe in the 50-50 Dutch dating, but I just got to speak up to what these brothers are saying. Men in general are saying that. How do they know? Like they don't. I don't. I'm gonna ask you this. Frank. Dudes not believing. Do dudes no longer believe that a woman just can't like them after a first date, after a couple of dates? Do dudes no longer believe that?
I don't even think that's written into the equation. I think they believe that a date is purely transactional. Um, when we dated, not nigga,
Not me and you. Hey, clear
yeah,
that
no,
up.
no, no,
Hey, oh,
no, like
hey.
but before we individually married women,
We weren't dating together. Hey, hold on, you ain't worried this right. We were in the dating game as single young men.
exactly. I'm trying to cut around. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
hey,
That's a
bro,
lot of words.
this
That's a
day
lot of
and age,
words, man.
use all your words in this day and
That's
age, bro.
true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
They gonna somebody gonna cut that
Take
segment
that
out.
sound.
Now we straight.
Them niggas gay. Yeah, man. I mean, we understood that it was dating was an investment. So we would put the time into verbally communicating, and then we'll eventually set up a date, and then we'll go out and pick her up and take her to a spot that we chose. We didn't ask her where she wanted to go. We already had a spot in mind, and um, you learn what she like, and through conversation,
Okay,
right?
back up. Okay, back up. You just said something. You just said
Mm-hmm.
something. The verbal that you're having. So there's a conversation before the first date.
Yeah, had to have been.
Is that the biggest problem? Is the biggest problem that there's no communication before that first date?
It is.
Okay.
You know, I think that is the biggest problem, because if they would um, had sufficient amount of time communicating, then they would be able to fill each other out. You
And he
know
would
what
know
I'm
whether
saying?
or not she even likes him.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he wouldn't have to feel like he wasted his time meeting up with her, because they meet up now, which is crazy to me. Meeting up with her and then sitting across the table from her, and she starts to realize this nigga ain't it. And he picks up on it, and now he feel like, well, I done did all this, I done paid this, whatever them lame niggas be crying about online. all that could have been avoided
If you already
on
had
both ends. Yeah, that's the whole point of having a conversation.
okay, so I do think. Let me tell you, I think that's getting skipped because of the ease of access that we have to women nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So I think that contributes to the level of entitlement. Dig this, right? We used to think, I'll be honest, man. I thought that when I got to high school, that just because those girls was in the same high school as me, I had every right to walk up and shoot my shot. I didn't quite understand the pecking order of, oh man, I'm a ninth grader, she a senior. I ain't got no business. You could tell me that. I think with the access that we now have with social media and the dating apps, but especially social media, and even the dating apps, they're two in the same almost nowadays. That because you got the instant access to shoot a message and express interest that way, maybe they forego the conversation and they figure because we just had this text message or all this other stuff, and we exchange messages in the inbox. When we meet, it's just gonna click. I know that's not accurate. I know it doesn't work like that. So you're saying that's the block, that dudes aren't more often having a over the phone dialogue to establish a rapport to where when they get to that space, it's gonna pop off.
Yeah, I mean, it's they jump in the inbox and may go well in the inbox, and then say, "Let's meet up." They meet up, and they don't take in consideration that neither one of you know each other. So, you're new to each other. You've had limited conversation, and you expect just because you pay for a meal, your first time meeting this person, that she's gonna go back to your house and get and give you some butt. It's like, how does that even compute in your mind that it makes sense? Like you're asking someone to give you their body, and they don't even know your last name. They don't even know if your name on social media is your real name.
Okay, so let me separate the extremes from what might be the norm. And any women that are watching right now, y'all can weigh in the comments, and I'll just share your experience in the comments, and I'll read them back. Is that the norm? Is the norm that after a first date, a dude is already jumping to sex, or is it at least after a couple of dates? Is it at least after, I mean, I never had this sense of entitlement, and I never had these grandiose expectations on a first date. That never was the case. But I'm trying to figure out why that exists. Oh, Jennifer Shorter said first date. First date. Okay. That's one saying first date. Sheffy said yes, it's the norm. They trying to eat booty after date. She said they trying to eat booty. Well, look. Damn, during the first date, they already know it. So, okay, look. Sheffy, let me explain something. Connoisseurs of the booty meat, they might not quite, they don't understand, you know what I'm saying? There's some excitement that comes with that. That's all I'm going to say. But I hear what you ladies are saying in real time. So first dates, dudes are really thinking that they going back to the crib to get access to the meat sleeve, and they're gonna see what's going on. And there's a feeling of entitlement. They feel entitled to that.
That's what it looked like.
Bro, I need some bros to weigh in. I need some bros to weigh in and counter this. Because I'm on the side of, I've never been out there like that. And you say you've never been out there like that. And I personally don't know guys that have ever been out there like that. But these women are saying that guys are out there moving like that. So I need a brother to show up. Now, I do know that there are brothers. I've seen brothers complain about being used for a free meal or feeling used for a free meal. I've seen that. But I need to know if those guys are the same guys that are expecting sex on the first date.
I think they it's like a mixed bag of nuts. You know, they're all mixed in one bag. I think that some of if the guys are not the ones that are not expecting sex on the first date, I feel like um they probably think they wasted their time because they didn't get the response from the woman that he thought that he would get.
So are they thinking? Okay, so is it because not necessarily first date, but they're not getting a response that let them know that the woman is feeling them? Like, are women not getting them a response that lets them know that they're sexually attracted to them?
Yeah, yeah. I think they feel like because the woman has accepted the date, then the woman likes him. You know what I'm saying? So he may feel like we're on this date and she wouldn't be here unless she did like me. And the woman may be thinking, I'm only here to see if I will like you. Because they haven't had a conversation yet because niggas go from the inbox to the restaurant.
Okay.
It's like, talk, nigga. Talk.
Okay. I'm seeing where you're coming from with that, and I can agree that if there's at least a level of communication prior to the date, a man will definitely know where he stands.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, liking you and comfortable enough to smash ain't the same thing. See, that's that men's entitlement. In our man entitled brain, you like me, you like me. That's our brain. We speed right past like to everything else. So don't like me being willing to, don't like me unless you're willing to let me eat the booty meat. Don't even like me. Don't even like me.
You know what, man?
You wasted a whole life if you like me and you ain't willing to. Nah, you wasted life. That's that man's entitlement.
Man, I avoided that by allowing them to drive the vehicle in that lane. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never made the first move.
Okay.
For one,
go ahead. I'm thinking.
For one, I was raised to be a gentleman, and I believe in that. Still do believe in chivalry. So, no, I would definitely like primer, but through conversation, no touching or nothing like that. And I never even initiated the kiss. I always put them in the driver's seat. Well, not put them in the driver's seat. Allowed them to steer the wheel in that department because it made them more comfortable.
Okay.
Because if I was pushing up on them, then that would probably send off some set off an alarm like this is all this nigga want.
Okay.
But
what if it was all you wanted? Never mind. I know who I'm talking.
Usually it wasn't.
Yeah. Now, now, I want everybody. I need ladies to realize who I'm talking to, and I'm not being facetious when I say this. There's very few men I personally know well enough to know that they can stand on a certain moral and ethical stance, and there's nothing y'all gonna find, no matter how dig y'all deep. I said, how dig y'all deep? No matter how deep y'all dig, this man is definitely speaking his truth. Like, not his truth, the truth. All people that know him and in his life. So when he says what he moves like, it's real. It ain't, and he's a married man. He ain't trying to trick none of y'all anyway. But to what you said, never making that first move. I can't say. I would say I always felt invited to make a move. I always felt the invitation. Whether or not a woman was sitting next to me, close to me, would lean in, would give access to her proximity to her personal space, that level of comfort that you just recognize. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't believe in asking for hugs. Ask for no damn hug. See, a lot of you niggas.
Where my hug?
You know what? A lot of you entitled motherfuckers. He said it. A lot of you entitled ass dudes. Y'all them dudes from high school that was walking up to up to women. Where my hug at? Where my hug? You where my hug at, niggas? That's who it is. Y'all the ones that's going on the first date expecting some ass at the end of it. That's who it is.
Them niggas was all over the hallways too.
Said, "Them where my hug dudes are the creeps." And when you get a hug, he lean in, he squeeze a little bit, he lean way too long. He want that hug to last long enough so folks think y'all something that y'all ain't even an item. But he want to let people think y'all an item.
And he want to feel every inch of her body, man. That nigga trying to get his toes to the tip of her toes. That nigga all over her feet.
I'm trying to. I think there's see, look, man. I'm pretty sure when I was much younger and I was a midget in high school, I might have been a where my hug at dude. I might have been that dude. I might have. I don't know. Especially with Tisa's friends. If any of them watching, I know I tried them. They go home riding my ass all the time, but it was what it was.
Nah, man, I ain't never asked, man, because you know, it was a chick in high school named you remember the chick named Tamara? Can't remember her last name, so I'm just use her first name.
No, well,
she wasn't like really that you know well known or whatever. But anyway, she asked me one time, was I gay? The hell? I said, no, I ain't gay. I'm like, what makes you ask me that? Because you don't talk about sex like the other boys do. And I was like, for what? I mean, even though at the time this was like 10th grade, I mean, I wasn't having sex then.
Yeah.
So I wasn't talking about it. I mean, that was no experience to talk about, and I wasn't driven by hormones like that. Okay. To even just strike up a conversation, but like that wasn't important to me. So I was never in conversations about it. So much to where she felt, you know, compelled to ask me, you know, nigga, are you a boy? It's like, damn, is it is it that uncommon for a young man not to speak about sex? But anyway, the point is you know that's kind of like a background of the makeup that I've always had, and even going into adulthood. I mean, because I've been married, all your adult life, my whole adult life. But right. Just transition into adulthood, it was still the same way. You know, I would date, go on dates and stuff. Just no big deal. I did it because it was fun. I just liked the company of a woman.
And I think that part, so I think there are men that just don't have a particular agenda outside of either you want a woman's company, and obviously if you want a woman's company, you don't mind paying for the date. And then in a minute, we're going to get into dating on a budget. But you don't mind paying for the date because you want that woman's company, you've invited her out. And because you want that woman's company and you like that woman, you want to see where things are going to progress. You're not going to press her for sex on a damn first date. I would hope that the norm is, and I'm going to close this particular, now, Jennifer, I ain't been out the game too long. He been out the game for too long. Listen.
Way long.
Yeah, he been out the game for a long time. I was out the game, then I got back in the game. And then I got back out the game. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I never just had that entitlement. You know, I had excitement. You know, I had desire, obviously. I had preferences. There were those that I met that I liked that I put in a certain box that I knew it was only going to be what it was going to be. And then there was others that was going to be more than what it was going to be. But that's a whole nother subject for another day. what I want to segue into, because we talked about these dudes feeling used for their dollars, you know, feeling like a woman is trying to get a free meal. So let's speed up. What's too much of a cost? There was a meme that was floating around weeks ago, and it was saying women expect $200 dates, or is $200 too much for a first date? What is too much for a first date? What is too much for a date? But so what is too much for a first date? And then what is too much for a date once you know that she's digging you? In your mind, what's
$200 definitely. $200 definitely too much for a first date.
So 200 is too much for a first date.
Hell yeah. Spend $200 on first date.
All right. I gotta tell a story. There was when it came for me in dating, I had a budget in mind, but I also had a carefree thought about it. Like so if I pick where I'm going, I know how much it costs and I know what I'm gonna spend. That's one. So if I pick where we're going, which I'm a planner, how much I'm gonna spend. So that's within my budget. But then sometimes the occasion, I'm enjoying the woman's company, and then what happens? We end up spending more money than I anticipated, right? So case in point, I was in Atlanta, met this woman. We corresponded over the phone, so I knew this is somebody I wanted to meet. For the first date was Cafe Intermezzo. If she ever watches this live, she'll know what I'm talking about. But Cafe Intermezzo, and that's not a cheap spot. And for me, I'm like, I'm gonna be even more thoughtful because there was no parking on the spot itself. I'm like, I'm gonna go park, and I'm gonna tell her where to give her directions to the parking lot, and I'm gonna meet her at the parking lot. I'm gonna go ahead and pay for her parking, and then we're gonna walk back together. It was a nice night, early spring in Atlanta. It's cool. I'm like, this is gonna be dope. And it was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because we walked back down the street, you know, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Nice scene, right? We get to the spot and we just enjoying ourselves. And I think I remember, I don't know, I think maybe that night I definitely spent over 200 because we went from Cafe Intermezzo. We went from Cafe Intermezzo. We had drinks, appetizers, dinner, dessert, and then we went to this other hole in the wall bar for a nightcap.
Damn.
So, but I didn't consider the dollar amount because I knew I already liked her. We already had a rapport. We were sitting there, and so I just didn't have a budget. But if I would say, now that was outside of my norm. I mean, I had situations similar that happened in different places that I lived in and dated. I dated in Dallas, I dated in New Orleans, I dated in other places. And I would say that I didn't necessarily have a budget because I knew when I met somebody, I liked them, and I knew I wanted to spend the time, and I know that costs money, and I wasn't going to split them 50-50. I like to drink, she likes to drink, we like food. I always thought, at minimum in my brain, I always thought I shouldn't be shocked if a bill comes out to $100. I always thought like that. All right, so I'm gonna let you go.
Woo!
He said, woo!
When I was dating, I was old Chili's and Applebee's nigga. I ain't go to Cafe Intermezzo until I got married. I ain't know what it was till after I got married. I thought it was new.
You said you thought it was new. Well, where this been at? You said where this been at?
Yeah. Man, matter of fact, I think the only time I dated downtown when I was in the dating game was when TGI Fridays was on Peachtree Street.
Yeah, okay.
So this was like 20 years ago. Damn. Yeah, this is about 20.
So you didn't have a single dating experience where you, like, as a single dude, you didn't have much of a dating experience where you had to consider all that.
No, man. I mean, because I was still young, so you know, the women that I would go out with was young too. We was the same age group. So they didn't know any better either. So just going out.
I would say back then. So I guess at that point in your life and that point in my life, I do remember them days. That point in our life, we were both broke.
Yeah.
I spot you 20, you spot me 20. We double dating, and we hope we gonna make it, man. Hey man, hey bro, hey, you gonna roll? We don't have a throwback Thursday moment. Here's a throwback Thursday moment. If me and this dude ever had a double date, and he didn't have the money, but I had the money, or if I didn't have the money and he had the money, we would spot each other for the date. But you couldn't. There was no such thing as Cash App, Venmo, and all that stuff. So we had to pass off some cash. and it wasn't no I'll take care of the bill when it get here. Nah, I had to make sure I got that man that cash either before we met up or in some slick fashion while the whole date was going on. Couldn't have a man out there like that. He would leave me out there like that.
Just slide under the table.
But when you was married, was there a dating budget? Ever during your marriage? You've been married twice, so ever during your marriage, was there a dating budget?
I had to realize I had to set one because I used to just go out and let the bill come, and then get pissed off at the bill. And after so many times of doing that, I was like, wait a minute, I gotta do something different. Because I was telling you earlier how when me and Tawan, my late wife, we went out to a dinner party with some friends at Red Lobster, and the bill came back for the both of us now, not just one person. The bill was for both of us, and it was $40, and I almost flipped the table over.
You almost lost your shit over a $40 bill.
Yeah.
With your wife with Red Lobster.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought I was justified.
You were struggling.
Oh man, I was poor. That $40 went a long way. It could have went a long way back then. Man,
$40?
Man, refrigerator half full. Now I'm in the boxes of Hot Pockets I can get for $40. Last me for a solid month. But you know, she was embarrassed, and I had to go to her and apologize. But I kept that same mentality. So after she passed, and I met my wife now, our first big date was Cheesecake Factory.
That was Cheesecake Factory.
First big date. First time we met in person, she picked the restaurant. We went to IHOP. It was up the street from my house.
Oh, that's a winner chicken dinner. She won. Oh, that's why y'all see. That's why she got you. That was some points right there. That was some motherfucking points. Okay.
Hey man, she understood how the wallet worked. so I believe. So when we got to Cheesecake Factory, I'm looking for the hamburger. Cause that's all I ordered at a restaurant, either hamburger or a chicken sandwich. So I'm looking for the hamburger. So in my mind, my budget was like 10.
And you did drink back then.
Right. So we getting water, and
look at Sheffy. Look, Sheffy thinks she's slick. Red flag. I'm finna go red flag Sheffy. She's also Waffle House for a first date is clutch. Let me go red flag her, because what she's trying to suck all these brothers in. That's gonna be she thinks she's slick, and she keep a heater up under her desk, y'all. I saw it. You was on that post. Well, go ahead.
So the burger was like so in my mind, my budget then was like $10 a piece. So I don't know what I was thinking the Cheesecake Factory menu was gonna look like. So, but I found a burger for $10. Cool. So I was like, okay. So she gonna follow suit. Man, she told the waitress her order, and I still had my menu. So the way that they pick up the menu, so I've quickly scanned over the menu, found her order. Nigga, I start sweating. And she saw that I was visibly uncomfortable too, boy. Her meal was $16.
What? Oh my God, bro. Okay.
Hey man, it was rough for a nigga back then, man.
Okay, so check this out. What I think my boy is saying to a certain degree is these dates, and Jennifer said you just overall frugal, sir. You know what? She giving you a pat on the back. They just like you. You married. You got a bald head and a beard. And he's smiling. They would chew you up had you. Hell no, I ain't doing it right. Hell no, they think they slick. No, man. I would say. So, are you saying that when dudes are on a budget, sometimes it is about the money?
Yeah,
it has to be because we're practical by nature. We're practical. So I would say this, man. So let me be honest, man. Let me be honest about something. I've overdrawn accounts on dates. Now, not on purpose, but I've looked up and been like, because I drank, because I drink, and I'm like, oh, I went over. But for the most part, I always had like this $100 budget in my brain just for any given night. I just said, if I'm gonna go out, just be expected to be $100 lighter in your pocket. And there was one point in time I used to carry cash no matter what, because either I was cheating or I was just making sure I was gonna have cash, so I didn't have to watch my debit card, the credit card go down. Y'all just skipped over that cheating part, but don't worry about that. But in any case, I carry cash, but I carry cash because you can watch cash. So I'm like, if I pull out this cash, and I always love tipping a waiter cash or a waitress cash. Like I always felt like that. And that's just being that I worked in the hospitality industry, I always felt like that. So for the most part, I had a budget. But dude, I can say, man, anytime there was a date where there was a nightcap, I know I went over 200. And in Houston, I know I did it. And I can just think of the cities that I did this in. Dallas, definitely. Houston, definitely. Atlanta, definitely. New Orleans, I think in New Orleans, maybe. I'm pretty sure. Every place I've ever lived. I would say in my broke days, in my brokest days for dating, I don't know, bro. Like my broke days were probably my young teen days, early 20 days. There was a stretch for me and my ex was married that we didn't date for a stretch because I mean I'm young, I'm in the military, I'm on a low level. It's just my income is one car and I'm paying all the bills. She didn't work or anything like that. Man, we didn't go nowhere for a while. And at that point in time in our lives, it was about TGI Fridays and the little, anything that was up the street and around the corner where we could take the kids to and have them sit down. It wasn't until I got a little pay bump. We got to Miami, and then I started spending some money. The kids got older. We can get a babysitter, and I started spending some money. But once I was single again, when I jumped back into the single game in Atlanta, I just had $100 for a given night budget. That was my thing. $100 on a given night. Now, if I knew I was going to be a little cheap, if I knew there was a budget, I'd pregame a little bit before the date, have me a little quick drinky drink. If I was on a struggle week, you know what I'm saying? Or I would eat something and already be done ate and be full before the date. So I'm already full and already got a buzz and I'm just out. And she's like, you don't eat? I'm like, nah, girl, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get something light. You know what I'm saying? I get me a beer and I'm just nursing the buzz I already got and I got something light to eat. If I really felt like I was in a pinch. But then in any case, 90% of the time, I would say 95% of the time, I was planning where we were going to go. So I had no excuse to be worried about the dollar amount.
Yeah.
So, and I was never one of those, what you want to do? What you want to do? What you like to do? if I say that and you tell me you want to go to Ruth Chris, I can't feel no way about that. If you want to tell me you want to go to, you know what I'm saying? What's that? Like anyway, if I ask you where you want to go and you tell me you want to go somewhere, what can I say about that?
You gotta submit to her demand at that point because you weren't prepared.
Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, I would say to men, if you gotta be on a budget, be on a budget. But first and foremost, get to know who you're going to go out on a date with before the date. Because one, if you like the woman already, you're not even thinking about the dollar amount as much as you would be.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I just want to be in the same space with the woman and enjoy myself. And what it's going to cost is going to cost.
Because at that point, you're not paying for a date, you're paying for the experience. So when you like the person, then you're going to invest in the experience of being with that person. You know what I'm saying? Just indulging in that person.
What Jennifer Shorter said, back to one of the comments you made earlier, she said, but y'all should have talked enough that you know what she would like without asking.
That's the whole point of talking.
Establish a rapport.
That's the whole point.
Bro, if she say she like live music and you in a city where there's live music, you don't have, bro, that could be easily one of the cheapest first dates ever for anybody. Matter of fact, if you got Groupon, my nigga, and you just look at a calendar and figure out who's playing what when, bro, you get a damn Groupon and you get somewhere and man, listen. It ain't that difficult.
It's not.
And listen, dude, Groupon. Is Groupon still a thing? I ain't used it in a while. But Groupon, all you dudes is mad if you say I don't want to spend no more than $40. If all you want to do is spend $2 on a damn date, man, Groupon that shit, man. Just go ahead and Groupon it.
It'll save your wallet.
Save your whole life.
I did it a couple of times.
I did that. Is why is it that dinner has to be the first date? For me,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't. For me, but let me say, for me, it could be lunch, it could be breakfast, it could be a walk in the, it could be anything. Now, I was never gonna be one of them goddamn dudes that do a goddamn gym date. No, I don't want to work out. I don't want to work out.
Gym?
Yeah, you know,
who does that?
Gym date, man. Dudes are doing gym dates. Let's go to the gym on the first date. But look, I like to eat. That's number one. Number two, I like the night and I like late nights. Cause don't nothing, you know, the legs, if they gonna come open, they gonna usually come open at night. Let's be 100. The freaks come out at night. Everything happens after dark. So let's be honest. I'm gonna be honest and say the reason I like having dates at night or dinner is because it's nighttime and it's a very good possibility. You're gonna say, well, what you doing? You sure you gotta go home? Well, you can come over. Oh, can I go on? You live by yourself? I can come on over. I'm just gonna come over for a drink. We ain't gonna do nothing. Boy, we ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna come on over, and then I'm leaving. I'm not spending the night. That's not gonna happen on a goddamn lunch date. I'm telling you now, that never happens on a lunch date.
Man, no.
But a dinner date, there's a chance. On a dinner date, there's a chance that she's gonna say, well, I'm just gonna come over and just chill with you for a little while, just a little while. Yeah.
But you know what? I prefer night dates, also because, like,
freaks come out at night.
I got my imagination. My imagination was framed from soap operas and romance comedies and stuff. And so, like in entertainment, that's so in my mind, that's what dating was. It was always at night. So after doing that, you know, since I started dating till I got married, even now I prefer going out at night. It just feels. I mean,
I'm the same way.
It just feels like a date.
And
if I'm out in
sexy. And nighttime is cooler. We can actually put on some pants. We ain't got to worry about ball sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hot, and y'all trying to go to a park, and I'm sweating in my armpits, and your titty meat sweating. I ain't want to do all that. Y'all ain't do all that. No. Nighttime dates. Dinner. I'm hungry.
Man, I had a park date one time, and the damn menu was what I brought to the park date was some cube steak, gravy, and rice. A full damn meal, boy. I'm talking about we in the park sitting on the blanket with some plates.
And hot. That was hot too. Sweating.
At Grant Park, man. Had my dad cook it up for me, but cause I couldn't cook then. But she didn't eat all her food because it was like a whole, like it was a dinner plate. Mm-hmm. And so we just sit out there, we swatting and fanning.
Yeah. Nah, bro. See, that's another reason. Ain't nothing sexy. Let me tell you something. You sweating, she sweating. You can't lean in and look at her. Jennifer Shorter talking about some hot as fuck. You sweating, she sweating. Y'all both greasy and oily. I mean, look. I'm not above greasy and oily and going back to the residence because I'm expecting sex after the first date. I'm not above it. I'm just saying, it's not the most comfortable moment for a woman that's just met you. She ain't trying to give you greasy and oily, sweaty sex. She want to be out clean and fresh feeling. You know how y'all are. Some of y'all. All of y'all ain't like that. Some of y'all don't mind giving those sweaty ass bull up to the neck. Some of y'all don't mind. I know some of y'all don't mind. What I want to do is, man, look, we can spend all day talking about planning dates and the ability that men don't have in doing it and the lack of doing it. But I want to segue to something now. Women, y'all can tune out right now. Y'all can tune out now because y'all might be mad. What I'm going to bring in y'all homegirl, Kendra G. Let me figure out how to frame it here. Yeah, let me get in here. Kendra G. Y'all don't watch Kendra G, and she's the woman Kim Samuels as it pertains to women and men calling her show. Now she has men call her show, and they tell her what they're looking for in a mate. And this particular video, I want to talk about this particular woman and what she's planning and what she wants.
Hey, what's your name, Bo?
It's Constance.
Constance, where you calling from?
I am right now working in Houston.
Okay, you put the phone down and get situated?
Let me see how I can settle this. Hold on. Can you see pretty well there?
Yes.
Okay.
You ready, Constance?
I am. So I am 52.
52, okay.
Where
you calling from?
So right now I am working in Houston.
Okay. Working in Houston. Constance 52 working in Houston. What do you do in Houston? What do you do again, baby?
So I am an independent claims adjuster.
Independent claims adjuster.
Yeah. So I'm normally out in the field working. So whenever there's a disaster, then I'm the person that comes and checks your roof, yada yada yada. But I decided a few months ago just to work remotely, so that's the reason why I'm here in Houston and working remotely.
Okay. Do you have any kids, Constance?
I have 3 sons. They are adults. They are 25, 27, and 28.
Have you ever been married?
Yes. And my ex-husband and I had the 3 children.
Okay. When did you divorce?
About 20 years ago.
Okay, 20 years ago. 20 years ago. All right, Constance 52, Houston, independent contractor, 3 sons was 1 son. I almost said 3 husbands. What's your birthday zodiac sign?
So March the 20th. So I'm a Pisces. I'm on the cusp between Pisces and Aries.
All right, but what kind of man are you looking for?
So definitely one that is professional, because I'm a professional. I really value education and I also value being able to give back to the community. So I want someone that's a professional, someone that's hardworking like myself, someone that is well-rounded and has traveled a lot, because I travel a lot for my living. And someone that is definitely God-fearing.
Okay. What's the deal breakers?
Someone that doesn't value education. Someone that is complacent. And someone that has an issue with a goal-oriented woman.
Okay. Let's get a look to start with.
Definitely interested in African American, and I am short, but I like tall men.
How short are you?
5'1".
How tall you want to be?
I like 6'3" and up.
You're 5'1", you want to be 6'3"?
That's what I'm attracted to.
Is that what you normally date?
Yes.
So what's going on with them?
Just because, I mean, that's what I'm attracted to.
I understand. So you said you normally date them, so why has anything progressed?
For a variety of reasons. Number one, I found that in my industry, I travel a lot. So quite often men kind of shy away from women that travel a lot. That's one of the things, the fact that I travel a lot in my industry. And another is sometimes they're a little intimidated by the amount of money that I make. So that's a concern, or that's been a concern or a barrier there. Like my shirt right here in North Pole. So last year I was in Alaska twice working. So to get someone that's willing to travel to the location that I'm working at, that can be difficult.
A black man potentially, yeah. Are you only date black men?
I do.
Now let's go to the money part. You said men are intimidated by the amount of money you make. Does the guy got to make a certain amount of money?
I would prefer. I do. And the reason why is because I believe that you should date within your wage.
Men don't date within their wage.
I think as a woman, and I think it's definitely very different. As a woman, because men are trained to be providers. The majority of them are, especially in my age range. So if I'm making 200,000 and you're making 50,000, that's problematic.
But if you're married, is it like everybody's money, your money?
So I'm definitely very traditional, and I believe that it is the woman's right or role to be the complement and to be the helper. And I want it to be where I don't have a problem working, but if anything happened to me and I'm unable to work, I know that I'm going to be able to live in the same lifestyle. So I don't be the primary breadwinner.
What do you want? I want a job that I don't hate.
While that commercial is on, and I don't know why my shit is playing commercials, because I know I paid for them to play commercials. She is 5'1", 5'1", and she has to have a man that's 6'3".
6'3". She's a garden gnome.
Making 100K.
And she's 52.
And she's 52. Is she out of her goddamn mind?
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
What did you say that matters? But I don't know what that thing is. Like, I want someone to tell me exactly what to do. I want to stop feeling like
she has to know that.
I'm just gonna fall into.
She has to know that that's not going to work out. And would be, thank you, Sheffy. She said, yes, yes, the hell she is. She is out of her mind. Now, do y'all know what Samuels would have did to that woman? Do y'all know what he would have said to that woman? He wouldn't have just moved on for that. No, I'm saying this because I'm gonna get to a point. He wouldn't have coddled that woman. She would have got the smoke. And Kendra G just blew right
There's
past
a lot of pushback. But if I'm making over 200,000 and I can make in 1 week what you make in an entire month, that can be behind closed doors. That can be a problem.
Well, let's clear some things up because I get this a lot. When people say pushback, saddle. That's never that. I'm giving you what's available, right? So I always have a lot of women that do really well financially, right? So let's say I have 100 girls that make $100,000 or more, right? And then I have 2 black men, 2 that make the amount of money these 100 girls make, also are that you requested, handsome. Mathematically speaking, all the 100 women just would not be able to get a guy if they base it off those 2 men.
I gotta pause it. I need to know. I need to really know. I need to understand. I distinctly remember watching several of Kevin Samuels' shows, and he would give the exact same rundown, but he wasn't calling them baby. He wasn't calling them sweetie. He wasn't saying it in his voice. They were saying that he was effeminate because he was saying it so harsh. So I'm trying to understand if we can recognize that this woman is delusional. It should be on Kendra G's show, putting this out there. What was so wrong with what the other man was doing? His delivery was the only thing wrong with his words. Okay, Sheffy. So you didn't like his delivery. See, that's not a right or wrong. That's a preference. So you didn't like his delivery. Bet. Okay. So you as long as we don't have been arguing that this woman, well, she liked it. She can have what she wants. She deserves. She deserves.
Man, like I said before, man, I think the difference is the fact that Kevin Samuels said it in a masculine tone. Some words that he used were a bit abrasive.
Yeah.
But women do say they want men to be straight up with them. Men talk to men that way.
Yep.
So that's just how men relay information. So you're not gonna always get straight talk from a man and wrapped in a feminine box. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna be in a box that massages your feelings. Because
hold on, let me back up. She said Kevin was never wrong, he was just harsh. She said, nah, not masculine, it was just harsh. You can be straight up and not harsh. Let me explain to y'all ladies something. If I told this man sitting right here, that's on this live right now, if I said, you know what? I don't care what you know what? I've been checking out Rihanna for a long time. I know I'm married. I know how much money I make. But you know what? To hell with all that. I'm gonna risk it all and I'm gonna go get her. don't even want to say what you would say. What if I tell you, hey, bro, I'm finna risk it all. I'm finna go bag Rihanna, man, or somebody on her level, Rihanna, Megan Thee Stallion. If I just name a celebrity, and I say that's what I'm finna go get, and you know what? Because I feel like that's what I want. What should I expect from you? How do you after you laugh your ass off, then what comes out of your mouth? Once you realize I'm serious.
Nigga, you retarded. if you think you've been run out there and get even.
Well, why wouldn't you spare my feelings?
What?
Like, why wouldn't
spare your feelings?
Why wouldn't you be nice about it?
Because the thing is, man, the only feelings I'm interested in sparing are children.
And that depends too. That depends too somehow.
I'm more tolerable of children because I understand that they don't have the mental capacity to understand the way certain things work.
They don't have perspective.
Right, exactly. Their mind's not mature enough to process reality.
She said man to man is different from now I will say this. Jennifer, I'll be honest. And anybody can go back and look at my first reviews of Kevin Samuels, my first posts about Kevin Samuels. I too was one of those people that say, God damn, his delivery, I can do better with the delivery. What I understand though is that we're all different. And some dudes just don't have that. Some men don't have that way of talking smooth when they know somebody's out of their damn mind. You like, let me, like, it's extremely difficult. Listen, it's extremely, listen, she said, would you speak to your mama that way when you were speaking? Let me tell you, it takes a certain level of mental, it's like your mind has to go through checks. When you hear something that you know is way off course, it takes a moment for you to reflect and deliver that in a way that they can actually absorb it and you won't hurt their feelings. That's one. I think Patrice O'Neal said that when men speak, they come from their gut and then they go to their brain a lot of times and they edit what they say and then it comes out their mouth smoothly. But they said some men, they go from their gut and it comes straight out their mouth. Kevin Samuels was just going straight from the gut, coming right out the mouth. And I think when he was doing that show and taking his time, he just didn't have time to go from gut to head to mouth. And I will always also say one of my criticisms of him was he spent too much time doing that. He was taking caller after caller after caller, hour after hour after hour, day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month. At a certain point, he said this stuff so much, so repeatedly to so many brains that he don't even want to think about editing what's coming out. And I'm not necessarily defending it. I'm just explaining this is how I understand that it could be like that. Because I have all the patience in the world to say something once. I can say something one time. I can say something two times. By the third time I got to say that shit, I can't be sweet about it. And it doesn't matter whether it's just that one person or whether it's a bunch of people. Because when you start having this repeated conversation over and over again with every other woman that comes to your show, after a minute, you be like, y'all are all like, who told y'all this? Who made y'all think that these desires and wants were reasonable? This one, look at this woman. Look, man, look, I'm not trying to be funny. Look, man, look. She's 5'1". She's not cute. I'm not gonna do that. She's not. She's 5'1", and she's talking about a dude that's 6'3" that makes $100K. The fact that she's talking about a black man that's 6'3", I will go to Google. Sheffy, I know you're a math person, so I know you know. I know that the law of averages, that man is in a very small population just to be 6'3" and then make $100K.
Even smaller.
And then she won't, like, ma'am, and you 51. There's a reason why you're single at 51 or 52, whatever. Let me tell you, her lived results are telling you why she's single. I guarantee you, if she was willing to date a man that was at least 5'6", that made about $60K, she'd be married by now. Go ahead, man.
Well, first I want to say that, and I'm in no way. I mean, I wasn't a Kevin Samuels advocate, or acolyte. A lot of stuff you said made sense. A lot of things I didn't agree with, but I will say that from all the episodes I've watched, he started off
calm,
mellow. But when the women were trying to refute the actual numbers he was giving them, and the
one of his shows. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna find one of his shows.
And the rational information that he was giving them, they just kept refuting it based on how they felt. It's like, come on, man. And then there was some women that was getting on the show that would purposely provoke him just so that he could go to that place to where he's chomping them off. So I don't think that gets talked about a lot because the narrative has been painted that he was this terrible orator that cusses women out and belittle women. Now, as far as I ain't gonna say nothing about. I'm respect my elders. As far as this lady is concerned, that is, her being adamant about what she wants and not being honest about where she's at as far as physical appearance, age. Like it's not enough that you make good money. Congratulations.
Right.
But
because Sheffy a big ball on here too. She on here.
How much Sheffy make?
Man, Sheffy rolling in the dough. I don't want to put her business out there. I want to put her business out there. Sheffy rolling in the dough.
That's the mathematician.
Sheffy, no. She one of them IT people, boy. You know they all rich.
Oh, say no more.
Say
no more.
Yeah.
All of them in the 6 Figure Club.
I don't want to put it out there. You got that bread?
She got a whole loaf.
Yeah, a loaf and a half.
Ain't even been sliced yet.
She might trick off a little bit.
Man, but and then she further limits her options by having a required salary that he has to come with. Like, come on, lady.
Right.
At some point, you just really got to be real. And she's been divorced for 20 years. Like, your formula is not working. It ain't been working for 20 years. And now you still talking about what you prefer. Like, it's time to come out that prefer boat and get in the boat of what I can get. And that's not saying settle for something that you don't want. That's saying realize where you're at and what's available to you.
More worried
realize what you qualify for.
About that one-on-one connection. So cheating makes a lot of folks feel as though
I'm gonna see if I can find one of his
after him.
I don't know.
What you looking for?
It's older than me at the time. I was in a relationship. Good.
I think I'm gonna see if I can find one. I think I'm gonna see if I can find one to see, because like his stuff is now even harder. Jennifer Short said it ain't tricking if you got it. Hold on, wait, hold on, wait. No, Sheffy, which one of y'all? You know what? See, these women want to, bro. Y'all are red flags. Y'all know I'm gonna do this post tomorrow when I go back to y'all comments. I'm red flagging Sheffy. I'm red flagging Jennifer. I'm red flagging the hell out of y'all. I'm just letting you know it's coming. It's definitely coming. I'm gonna see if I can find one where he's actually. No, because that's the woman that was cheating. That's the woman that was cheating. That cheated on a man. So I remember that was a bad one. That was a bad episode. Like his stuff now is so. It's so
low average health.
I don't
From a
think I
weight
can find it, man.
standpoint.
I should have. I wasn't prepared to go bring up a bunch of Kevin Samuel stuff, but I would say that a lot of times, what you're saying is true, man. I would watch his stuff, and he was coming from a very rational place, based on the numbers, based on what they're saying they wanted, telling them that nah, you the chances of you getting that are minimal. That's what he was doing more often than not. That's what I came across more often than not. Now, did he take petty shots? Yes.
Yeah.
He took some petty shots, especially once he realized the woman was a little disagreeable. Me personally, my thing was, why don't you just hang up on him?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't, she said the woman wasn't cheating, she was weighing her options, making sure she wasn't too damn demanding for one man. You know what, bro? You heard what she said? She said cheating? No. She was weighing her options, making sure she wasn't too demanding for one man.
Damn.
Jennifer, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I don't even know how we became Facebook friends with you talking about like that. I don't even know how you got on this damn chat. I'm going to report you to Mark. We're going to get you in Facebook jail. But I generally do think that Kevin Samuels was just trying to level set. Did he get out of pocket sometimes? Absolutely. Kendra G, I don't see her get out of pocket often. I do see she does have a level of patience that I don't think Kevin Samuels had.
Yeah.
Sheffy said we should have invited her to this live. Come on.
Can she jump in?
You know what? I can jump y'all in real quick.
Bring them in on the screenshot that I sent you.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we got that. Hold on.
I want some answers for that one.
All right, Sheffy. If y'all, I'm gonna inbox Sheffy if you want to come in on the live. Hold on. Bring Sheffy in on this live because we got a question for y'all. We definitely got one for y'all. Y'all can this. Answer us this. Hold on. What she say? Sheffy said my hair ain't done, but give me a second. All
Put
right,
a bun on.
Put that bun up. Put that bun up. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna send you an invite now. Jump in on your thing. Don't be shy. Come on in here. Let me find Sheffy. I'm gonna bring her on in here too.
They'll just flick their head back.
Yeah. Get a slave braid. Yeah, I'm gonna send her a link right now.
I've been trying to read these damn comments. They small on my phone. Said fine.
Come on, hurry up. Get your ass on.
Let go.
She trying to come on here. She trying to come on here fly and shit. See that's hey man. Sheffy go on and represent for the home team. All right, Sheffy gonna get on here and represent for the women. She ain't gonna be able to explain this one. She ain't gonna be able to explain this one. Nope. I guarantee you. We got a surprise question coming. She ain't gonna be able to explain this.
I genuinely want to know the answer to this one. This needs to be explained.
I genuinely want to know the answer to this one. I'm gonna get that one out of there. Let me move that one out of there.
Which one jumping on?
I'm gonna get that. That I'm gonna have it in just a minute. Chefy gonna come on here. She gonna explain this.
She the rich one, right?
Yeah, she said she the rich one. Oh, here she is. She come on. Get on here. Come on in here, Chef. Come on in here, Chef. Yeah. Get on in here. Can you hear us? You good? I don't hear you. Can you hear me? She said she can hear us right now.
She probably gotta get a headset.
Get on in there. Get on in there. Get on in there.
Can't see none of my eyes.
I know. I see them big old glasses, girl. I see them glasses. Get on in here.
I like the glasses though.
Of course.
Remind me of what's the name of that what's the name of that damn movie? Hidden Figures.
Oh yeah, the NASA women. The NASA women.
Yeah, that's what the glasses remind me of.
Get on in here, Chef. Get on in here. Her frame is frozen a little bit. We're gonna get on in here because we need her to explain. I'm going to pull this up. We need her to explain this, and I'm gonna read this. If it's not too much on Instagram, she said Instagram making all these changes. Man, bring back when I can see when and who picture that N-word like. I'll pay for that picture. Then somebody responds, says, I'll never understand why it's such a big deal that someone follows or likes. I wouldn't even follow my significant other. People can't see and enjoy shit without being monitored. Okay, so that person got some sense. So this woman, Jamisha Thomas, Instagram making all these changes. Man, bring back when I can see when and who picture that N-word like. I'll pay for that feature. And we need a woman to come and explain why this is a feature that some women are willing to pay for. Chef ain't on here. Can I get her in?
She still froze.
Yeah, she froze up. Chefy, it might be your mic, or it depends on how you in there. Come on and explain this. Jennifer, you can explain it too. Somebody explain it. Somebody explain it. I got something. Chef, you got an iPhone?
That's probably what it is. Damn iPhone.
Yeah, she probably got an iPhone. I thought she was IT. Jennifer said they want to see who they are competing with. Why? Okay.
If you already got the man, why is it important to like? Why would you even put yourself in competition? Because he's not putting you in competition with any with the woman that he's liking. And so why do women put themselves in those positions and get mad? Get mad that they're in the position.
Get mad at their competition that the competition don't even know they're competing with.
Don't even know they exist.
Yeah, so see, Sheffy's signal is bad. Her network connection is damn 0 out of 10. I'm gonna remove her. Come on back. Come on, try that link again, Chef. We need to understand why this is the thing. Now, in all honesty, she said, I think it's just general insecurities. Appreciate you for answering that. So you don't do that, Jennifer? You don't do that? I do. Okay, let me be honest. Let me be honest. Chefy back. Oh, okay, she's back. She got a good signal too this time. Hold on. I'm gonna add you. Oh, she was just back. Hold on. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Come on. Been waiting 84 years.
I can't hear y'all though.
Well, you can't hear us? She said she can't hear us.
Okay, so to answer your question, why do some women want this feature? In a word, insecurity.
Okay. Damn. We need some. Okay, we're gonna kick you off. We need
I
some
can't
more
think of
arguments
any
before
guy
shit.
I've ever been with where I cared who he liked, what he liked, because I'm pansexual. I probably liked her too.
Oh, okay.
So
That
if
makes sense.
someone feels like they need to see that level of
We want
interaction and they're actually tracking that information, pure insecurity, period. There's no other reasoning for that.
So, what do you think?
Can you hear us?
Hold on.
You
I
gonna
can't
probably have to
hear
get
y'all. Why
headphones.
can't I hear y'all?
So she's saying pure insecurity. So that's two women who have said insecurities. God damn it, y'all winning today. Damn. Damn. Okay, I gotta find some Facebook friends that's gonna argue with this shit because y'all winning with that response. That's what we would assume it is as men, but I'm sorry, hold on.
I want to know what causes that insecurity. I mean, I know it.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
so that insecurity, the cause of that insecurity could be a lot of things. What I found, and this goes back to me just even evaluating myself. I mean, Manuel, you've been following me for a long time. I'm sure you have seen the different stages of my growth. But when you don't love yourself enough, you go looking for reasons other people won't love you too. So, like, one thing I've always told my husband, and this is when we started dating almost 18 years ago. He was like, would you, care if I was cheating? I'm like, sir, go do what you do because I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not going to check a phone. I'm not running behind you. I don't care because either you're here for me or you're not, and I'm going to be okay either way. So I'm never worried about that type of thing. I'm not the cutest woman. I am overweight, but I know I'm a good person. I'm a lot of fun, and there's somebody for me out there, and it just may not be that guy, and that's okay. But a lot of people aren't okay with not being chosen. And when you aren't secure in who you are, if somebody chooses somebody else, you take it as a personal slight. No, he just may like somebody else.
You're making too much sense.
Goddamn. Oh, wait, never mind. Shit. We need somebody else. We need to
Get out of here.
You called me on here. I'm here.
Get out of here.
Had me rush out my car and almost left my food behind.
No, we want a fool. See, if we get a fool on the post, then we can say, we got they all fools.
I mean, but at the end of the day, just because I don't necessarily subscribe to some of those tropes, that doesn't mean I don't understand. I know exactly where it comes from. It comes from not being validated by male energy in your life. The lack of fathers, brothers, uncles, cousins, all of those things play heavily into how a lot of women see themselves. So when they get out into the world and they're now engaging with actual men, it's the expectation of if they're not all into me, then there's something wrong with me. So it starts way back before the woman is starting dating. It's just the male energy around her.
Before relationships and before social media involvement, it's something else going on. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Mm-hmm. Does past trauma in relationships contribute? Like if a woman has been cheated, or she has discovered issues, if she doesn't get past that, can that then be the thing that comes up?
Absolutely. And that's not even a gender specific thing. Men have the same issues. Men have the same insecurities. When you put yourself out there and you've given your all and somebody walks all over that, it will leave you feeling a certain way. And I don't think that part's gender specific at all. I think the searching part tends to be more gender specific because women are more analytical. We find patterns. We look for patterns. We look for reasoning that men typically go very direct, whereas we go around the bend, around the corner, up and down the street, and then get to them.
unnecessarily.
No, it's not always unnecessary. It's not
I say I
always.
don't like the color red. It ain't because I like the color purple or because I think pink looks better. I just said I don't like red. I ain't thinking about purple or pink. But now that you ask me,
That's all it is.
it makes me pause and think. And now you think because I pause and think, I'm lying about the fact that I like purple or pink. No, I just like purple. You see what y'all do to us? We don't have time for that.
I do. I agree. Sometimes it gets a little bit much. I agree. I completely agree with that. I'm a very direct person.
Dale said, does it change if a person is an entertainer? Dale said, does it change if a person is an entertainer? So if you're in a relationship with a person or you're involved with a person as an entertainer, does that change that? Does that cause more insecurities? I think that's what Dale is kind of asked.
I mean, I would imagine it does because there is no level of you seemingly have more competition. There are more women, I'd say there are more women going for a guy because he's an entertainer. So it's seemingly more competition because he seemingly has more access to fans. But fans aren't necessarily real. So why would you as his woman base it around his fans?
Sure. So okay. I'm gonna ask this: if a woman is dating an entertainer, should she automatically settle in her brain that he's going to entertain someone else?
No, but she should be comfortable to know that other women are going to try to get him to entertain her. Absolutely.
But she shouldn't.
But it's on that man to make the decision.
So she shouldn't be okay with the idea of him occasionally saying, "You know what? I'm gonna entertain."
It depends on the parameters of their situation. If he came to her and said, I want to have an open relationship because I know it's some stuff out there I want to dip into, and she's okay with that, okay, sis, this is what you signed up for.
Take that off the table. Take that off the table.
So he didn't explicitly say.
No. Okay, let me rephrase it.
Then no, he's just lying.
Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase it. Should women that are going to consider dating entertainers go into it with a more open mindset than a traditional mindset?
I think so.
Okay.
I do. I agree with that.
I do not agree that if a man says, I don't give a damn who you are. If you say as a man, I'm going to be monogamous, and if you promise that, you gotta kind of live up to it, bro. Or you gotta start to have the conversation. But if you don't, and you say, hey, this is what I do for a living, and there's certain things that come with that, and then she sits back, sleeps on it, she thinks on it, she comes back and says, hey, you know what? It's all well and good. Don't have me looking crazy out here.
At the end of the day, it's the responsibility of everybody involved to just be upfront. Just say what you want. If you're not the type who vibes with monogamy, then say that. Then say, I like to dip every now and again, but, it's not necessarily a relationship. I just like to have sex with other people. Okay, give that person the opportunity to choose that life or not. Mm-hmm. It's real simple. Yeah. Poly life ain't new. Poly life is not new. It's just more mainstream now. Right. And I think it's more realistic for a lot of people. But people feel like, well, if I admit to myself that I don't necessarily vibe with monogamy, something is wrong with me. So I have to lie about it. So because if I lie about it, the playing field of amount of women I can get is going to be larger because they're expecting monogamy versus the women that are poly, that pool of women is smaller. This is true.
And there's some truth to that, because I will say this. When you get to the space, to that alternative lifestyle, if you just go to a club, to a lifestyle club, and you look around, those couples, I would say 70% of the couples are above the age of 40.
This is true.
70% of them are not of our description of our race and ethnicity outside of Atlanta. If you go any other way in the United States,
true. Not true.
I'm saying, well, if you get outside,
I'm 16 years deep in that lifestyle. That's not true. There's a lot of us.
if you get outside of certain metropolitan areas, you can see that y'all be the only two black couples there. And then what you consider to be physically attractive on a certain scale, it varies so much. And I think what messed people up was, I remember I watched the movie, what was the movie Tom Cruise in? Eyes Wide Shut.
Mm-hmm.
That is, let me tell people, Eyes Wide Shut is not an example of what these clubs look like when you go in.
That's not at all.
When you go into a lifestyle club, it's not a place for a bunch of models. It's not a place for a bunch of bodybuilders. It's a microcosm of the population. People look like average people. You got overweight, underweight, tall, small. You know, the people that are not in the average, they're not going to be abundantly there. So you're not going to find a bunch of 6'3" dudes there. You're also not going to find a bunch of 120-pound women there. You're not going to find. You're just not. You're going to find.
You're gonna find a whole lot of butter faces and flat booties.
Yeah. You know, there. It's gonna be some of everything there. Now the level of confidence that them humans have. There's a level of confidence that those humans have to literally go like, listen, I can, okay, I don't want to put that, me and my wife went to one. I'll just leave it there. I won't speak on our experience there, but
1763, is that where y'all went?
No. We was on the West Coast. So
okay.
We had
West Coast clubs are different though than Southern clubs. West Coast is a whole other vibe.
We definitely had a good experience, but you know, and we went in there with our confidence, but the level of confidence that most people have going there, the ones that are regulars, you're like, oh, y'all don't give a damn. Did y'all even bring clothes? Did y'all even y'all just okay? Y'all just chilling. I'm gonna give my boy. I'm gonna get him to look at. He quiet. He like, oh no.
Y'all done ventured off into a realm that I have no idea.
I mean, it's just a body positive experience, and since everybody knows, everybody has their level of where they are on the spectrum with kink and whatever is involved. It's just a no judgment zone. That's literally all it is. It's a no judgment zone.
It is.
I feel like it's stinking now.
No,
it doesn't.
You don't stinking now?
Very clean.
Bro, let me say something.
Exceptionally clean.
The sanitary level that they have will rival any locker room, bathroom you've been in outside
hospital.
Of the top tier LA Fitness at the most rich part of the bro. It's another level. Honestly, you get uncomfortable with the smell of bleach. The smell of bleach is just there. It's in the back. You're like, grandma just cleaned up. Bro, there's no doubt. It's next level.
It really is. And it's odd because you go in there and you see a whole bunch of people in the buff and you're like, it's got to stink in here. But no, it smells like fruity and very sanitary. And people are just staying there with you, you know, with a glass of wine and a cookie, have a conversation and just be fully naked.
They will. I don't know. So right now we're on the topic of anybody that's checking in. We talking about lifestyle clubs. I'm not sure how we got here.
How we get here?
He brought it up. You brought it up.
Nope, Sheffy came on here. See, you know what? That's how Red Flag is going by your name from now on. I promise.
I can be a red flag. I am an entire experience. And I'm not saying if that experience is negative or positive. I'm just an experience.
When I used to talk that shit, the Manuel experience. You know when I used to run around?
Yeah, I remember that mess.
The level of arrogance that I had. I would run around and say, hey man, the Manuel experience. She got to get the Manuel experience. And this dude would be like, what? I don't even know what that means. Like,
I still don't want to know. I don't even know what that includes.
You know the Mercedes experience. Just know you're experiencing something that you're going to enjoy.
Yes, you know, it's rare. It's rare good or it's rare bad. I don't know what it is for them. Listen, I can't always.
It's just rare.
It's gonna be something they talk about. It might be bad, like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So are you still married, Chef?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so and I know y'all have had, you know, I've seen you post little things, ups and downs about it. Do you prefer? I don't know if you look into. I don't want to ask the wrong kind of questions, but if you had to be single, based on what you know about the dating landscape now, how would you navigate that if you were single tomorrow? If tomorrow you were single and you were over everything, would you feel comfortable going into the dating world?
So I'll preface that with saying I'm separated. So I've technically been in the dating game a little bit. I've dipped my toe into the waters over the last few months or so. The thing I find surprising about the dating game is the level of lack of communication. The lack of communication and instant gratification is alarming, to the point where if you don't say explicitly what some guy wants you to say in the first 2 lines, it's a block and move on. And it's like, when did we get to a point where we can't actually have conversations? I remember back in the day when I dated online, back in the Black Planet days, I've met my husband on onlinebootycall.com. And a bunch of other guys. Never engaged in an actual booty call with any of them. But a lot of those guys are still my friends to this day because we actually had conversations. We actually talked to each other. We got to know each other, just like you guys were talking earlier, getting to know people. And you realize, you know what? She's cool. She's just cool to hang out with. It's not that I have to smash. But in our current dating state, it's like, well, I'm not wasting my time unless I can smash. Or I don't really care who she is as a person because I'm just dating for loneliness. I'm just dating to fill my time.
How do we bring, so
or I'm a divorcee and I'm dating just because I should be dating. All the purpose is gone.
Well, okay, so here's my question, right? How do we? So, and there's a guy, Dr. K talks about why dating apps are bad. God,
they're awful.
I ought to bring up what he had to say about dating apps. Matter of fact, I know I have it in my reactions video. But so my thing is this: how do we change that climate to where the people that actually want to go about it the way you want to go about it? Because what my boy was just saying earlier, that's what he was saying about men's entitlement, and then how they mess up. And you're saying the same thing. There's a lack of communication out here, and there's instant gratification. How do we get the people that have that same frame of mind to more often frequent each other than actually wasting all their time on these other people?
I don't think there's a way to do that, because you have to realize that it goes even deeper than just the dating apps, just relationships. It goes deeper to, we have become a society that is agnostic of accountability. And when we are agnostic of accountability, we don't have the wherewithal to sit and actually have conflict resolution discussions. So anything that feels like conflict is an automatic, I'm running. I don't want to deal with it. I'm protecting my peace, blah, 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 blah. When it's like, no, sis, you're not protecting your peace. You just don't know how to communicate with people. Therein lies the problem. It comes from the instant gratification that we are so used to in communicating via social media that we think this is the culmination of this person. What they've posted is all I need to know about them. And if they say something that's a pinch, quote unquote, toxic, oh, I gotta protect my peace, block. Ma'am, you just have poor communication skills, and that's why you can't date. There's no shortage of men in my box trying to date me, period. While I was married, not married, none of that. And like I said before, I ain't the cutest. I ain't the skinniest. One of my cheeks might be a little bit bigger than the other. It is what it is, but I don't have these problems because I figured out a long time ago how to effectively communicate. Which garners me respect.
Well, Sam, respond to what she's saying, because I know you feeling something in your bones right now. I know you feeling good about something you're hearing right now. Go ahead, weigh in.
Man, that's the gospel truth. I want to, but you know what, Sheffy, when you say they don't know how to effectively communicate, a lot of people don't know what that means.
True.
So can you give like an overview of what that means?
Absolutely. So effective communication is talking to be understood, not just to be heard, number one, and listening to understand, not just to respond.
Damn, that need to be a bumper sticker.
Hey man, make that a meme. Make that a meme real quick. Make that.
We spend a lot of time telling people how we feel, but I don't think we spend enough time empathizing with how somebody else feels. Over the years, my husband and I we had to get to that point where we were understanding each other's feelings from a realm of, I said something to hurt your feelings and I apologize. It doesn't matter my intent. My intent wasn't to hurt your feelings, but you were hurt regardless.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take a step back. You know what? I'm sorry. Here is my intent so you can understand what I was trying to get across. But I also understand why you did not receive it the way it was sent. If we spent enough time communicating to be understood and to understand, we wouldn't have half the problems we have now. This whole, well, women do this and men do this. Everybody do everything. We've established that. So what are we going to do about it?
I think what you're saying is key. Definitely, people need to know how to communicate. People need to understand the nuances of communication, the nuances of conversation. That's the thing. Going back to the dating app thing real quick, I'm gonna bring in Dr. K, man. Like this guy. So I borrowed some of his stuff for a video that I'm gonna post about incels. I have a monologue. So a couple of weeks ago, me and my man right here, we did a whole thing about incels, but I did a monologue and I got Dr. K coming in. When I say coming in, I ain't spoke with him, but I want to share.
Or people who think like, oh, I'm a nice guy, or like I do all,
Yeah,
I check all the
about
boxes.
dating apps.
Why am I still single? It's because checking the boxes has nothing to do with the actual interaction. You can look at like online dating, you can say like, oh, I'm under 6 feet, I'm screwed. And we'll form these conclusions because this is what the dating app is doing, is shaping our perception that these are the things that matter.
He's right.
So we're going to talk about dating apps for a second. Okay. And there's a lot about dating apps that we sort of don't appreciate or recognize, which is like there's a lot about the assumptions that dating apps have, which have become so true and commonplace that we've never really stopped to think about whether these are like conceptualized the right way or not. So let's start with a couple of things. The first is that dating apps ask you for a profile, right? And you put things into your profile. And so what that sort of gives us the idea of is like, since I can put my profession into my profile, I can put my height into my profile, I can put all these kinds of things into my profile, we assume that the features of the profile will determine dating success. Because that's what I can put into the profile. The biggest confusing thing about dating apps, which is a little bit subtle, is that things that you can measure and stick on a profile may not correlate at all to dating success. Do y'all understand that? When people were developing dating apps, they didn't sit down and do a bunch of research what leads to the most successful relationships. What they asked themselves is, what can we capture in a profile that leads to success? Because they're fundamentally bound by what the dating app can represent. They're fundamentally bound by a profile. And this is why a lot of people get confused about some of like, dating stuff. So people will sort of say, like, we just had a post earlier where someone was saying, I'm professionally successful, I'm getting in shape, I'm doing all these things, and people don't seem to care. People don't seem to care. All they care about is height and weight and these kinds of things. And I even had like, so a buddy who was in medical school with me. And so like this person had some difficulty dating. And so when they went to medical school, they were like, oh, once I go to med school, like the ladies will be all over me. Because ladies love doctors. right? Everyone's looking for a doctor. Once I become a doctor, it's going to be easy. You know, I'm going to have more than I can handle. It's going to be great. And then, like, finished med school, became a doctor, started making some money, and still, like, struggles. And so then a lot of people will be super confused because they're like, I don't understand. Like, I'm a nice guy. I'm professionally successful. I treat people right. Like, I do all of these things. Like, they look at their life, right? Because they've optimized what you can put into the app. I work well. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. Like, all this stuff is listed on there. I put it all into the app. I'm confused. Why isn't this working out? And then they become resentful. So here's the key thing to understand about relationships. So everyone will say, like, relationships are all about communication. The problem is, like, that's not something you can stick in a dating app. So all these people who are like doctors and still struggling to date, or people who think like, oh, I'm a nice guy, like I check all the boxes. Why am I still single? It's because checking the boxes has nothing to do with the actual interaction.
God damn it!
People who are successful in dating, if you're wondering how can someone who's
God damn it!
You can stop right there.
It's too much like right. Too much like right.
Listen, Dr. Motherfucking K, boy, he came through. he said, checking the boxes has nothing to do. Bro, let me tell you something right now. I like being right. I always think I'm right, and I always am right, but I'm wrong even when I'm right. I'm right. We all just checking the boxes has nothing to do with the interaction.
Nothing at all.
Nope. And that's the problem I think a lot of women fall into, is because they have this list of everything they want this man to have. And for me, it's like the number one thing I want a man to have is peace. Have peace. Yes, I have a preference for tall men. I have a preference for military men, but those are physical preferences that are neither here nor there in the grand scheme of things. Versus, are you a provider in the sense where, and I don't mean financial, are you a provider in the sense where you can build me up when I'm down? Are you a compassionate man who can be masculine and emotional at the same time to be able to raise a well-rounded child? Those are the boxes I need a man to check. All that other stuff, he got to make this money, be this tall.
I'm gonna keep the red flag.
You can red flag me all you want to, because I'm still an experience, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Red flag. I need red flag. That's on point, man. That is definitely on point. Because like the doctor just said, that they're not considering the interaction when they're considering the dating profile. You spoke on that, Frank, earlier about that lack of rapport that dudes won't even get. They think and now I would say, Frank, he didn't get into the dating apps. He was out the game before that. I did the dating app thing, and I can tell you now, man, anybody that's done it, swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, swipe left. You see who you like what you see. You know what I'm saying? You swipe on them, they swipe on you, you get a match. Then you go in and you have a conversation. You engage them. And hopefully you read the profile, because people would write stuff in their profile, they click on interest, and you hope that those things match you with somebody that you're compatible with on paper. But then there is the interaction that has to happen. So she likes whiskey, I like whiskey. She likes sci-fi, I like sci-fi. She's got a child, I got kids. You know, all these things match up on paper. When I send that inbox message, how I break the ice does make the difference. Can we get a texting rapport going? Can we get a messaging? And then shortly after that, is she comfortable enough for me to say, hey, can I pick up the phone and give you a call real quick? I just want to see. And then you do that. Can y'all even laugh? See, a sister, I won't, she a red flag too. I'm gonna call her name out. Dana Daniels. I'm gonna call you out. God damn it. She was telling me that she was on the phone with a dude, She said, Mo, I've been on the phone with this dude all this time, and the whole time he's just been talking about himself. What? She said he just go from one subject to the next, talking about himself. I'm gonna go here and I'm like, nah, you lying. She said, well, I put the phone down, walked away, came back, he was still talking. Yeah, I done tried to get on the phone because I had something to do, he was still talking. Now she's funny, she's a funny chick, she's cool people. I said, have y'all even sniggled and giggled and laughed? She said, ain't been one sniggle or giggle. I said,
what the hell was he talking about?
He cooked. Like, you can't even sniggle or giggle.
That's how you get the draws. You got to make us laugh.
Man, if you sniggling and giggling, man, listen, let me tell you what my trick will be right now. Let me tell you. This wasn't a trick when I was single, but let me tell you what will be right now. If I was single right now, I'd get on the phone. Hey girl, what you doing? Oh, I'm cooking something and watching Martin reruns. Watching Martin reruns. What episode? Man. Yeah. We just sniggle and giggle about old Martin reruns. So that's all me and my wife do now. We sniggle and giggle about old Martin reruns.
I've always said that niggas underestimate the value of entertainment. They undervalue entertainment. Like, man, if you know how to entertain, only thing you gotta do is feed her and entertain her. Nigga, by the time
Blueprint.
So what?
Have a beard. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Get that game out. Get his blueprint.
Man, I'm telling you, man, if you're interesting enough to entertain her, man, damn, her draw probably be around her knees by the time the check comes. You know what I'm saying? Like that because I wasn't like I said earlier, I wasn't intentionally trying to, I wasn't meeting women just to have sex. I was genuinely looking for a connection. Didn't know what to call it then, but looking back on it, I realized that I just wanted to enjoy the company of a person. But I just, for one, I'm sociable, so I know how to hold the conversation. I know how to engage in conversation, and throw a little humor in there. Then, nigga, that's it. Because if you're interested enough to keep them engaged while you're talking, and to also get them talking, because women like to talk. That ain't no secret. And you don't even you don't even have to listen to everything they're saying. Just make sure you tune in to the last two sentences.
Yeah.
So that you can so
you can click in real quick.
But then when we do that to y'all, it's a problem. You ain't even listening to me.
No, we don't say much. We don't say as much. Well, you know what? Let me tell you. You are 100% right. What Chris Rock say? Huh? Damn right. You don't say. You know what? Like just the bare minimum to a degree. But what you just said was be entertaining. And I don't want dudes to take that to an extreme and think, oh, what, I gotta be dancing, juggling, and spinning the top of my nose? Like, no, nobody's saying that for you extreme motherfuckers that's gonna get on here saying I ain't gonna be entertaining. No, but
have a personality.
That's it.
Have a personality, being interesting. Like again, Dale Jameson weighed in a few minutes ago. Man, listen, man, he's the most well-dressed motherfucker I've ever seen on a damn app in my damn life. Look at Sheffy. Sheffy, sit down. Sit down.
Yes. Leo life.
You know what I'm saying? I know he know what we speaking on. Yes, so dudes gotta understand those. There's some very basic tenets to the whole dating atmosphere. There's communication, there's being entertained, and there's these very basic tenets that if you just mark those things off, you don't have to. the dating app to me, I thought the dating app was supposed to shortcut the time that busy people had. Like when I looked at it, for real, I remember when me and my ex got separated, when we finally was like, all right, we done, and somebody recommended a dating app, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out for real, take it seriously. They were like, you know what, it cuts the time off because you're a career person, she's a career person, y'all. I'm like, yeah, but what about the old? I was like, that's punks, man. I'm old school, man. I'm old school, man. I walk right up on them. I don't need no dating, man. I walk right up on them. And I live by that. But then I did realize, the swipe right connect thing, but there's still a requirement to engage in conversation and establish a rapport. So I think if you come from the culture of cold approach, the dating app works for you as far as cutting down a little bit of that. For those that never started that way, the dating app is a lazy way to just meet somebody who you think, all right, we can get in the same place at the same time, and we can get it all figured out on the first date. And you cannot get all that shit figured out on the first.
Oh man, no.
You can get lucky. You can get lucky, and it all clicks on the first date. But no, I've never used a dating app and we just met up. We ain't had no kind of conversation. We had at least a text exchange that was funny and laughing. And we if it wasn't that, I never had that meetup. I never had that dry meetup to where we wasn't looking forward to meeting up.
It's funny, like being in my industry, and at one point I started a dating app myself for entrepreneurs and startup founders. So I did this research way back when I started EntreBay. And at the end of the day, people have to realize a dating app is a business. It is nothing more than a data mining tool to get people to engage in a way that can show you have a greater user base or your people are more quote unquote quality. But at the end of the day, the facilitation of interaction is not done through the app at all. And I think that's where people get it wrong, because they're expecting the facilitation of the interaction to happen in the app. No, you still have to be an actual person. You still have to have an actual personality. There's 10 guys who all say they 6'3" that actually range from 5'9" and up. So a whole lot of lying is happening. Sis used her pictures from 200 pounds ago. There's just a lot going on, and it's like people set themselves up for failure when they go into dating apps not actually thinking about, this is a business. Yes, it's going to give me prospects, but I still have to do the work.
Yeah, there you go. The key word on the back end, I still got to do the work. Still got to do the work. I would recommend that anybody using dating app, give the best physical representation of yourself. The best and most accurate. I would urge that to anybody, because, man, I promise you, there is somebody that likes you as you look naturally. There's a type for a type. Hands down. You got to get that part out of the way. I would say type preferences and use the dialogue box to say what you want. I recommend it to a certain degree, because it will weed out some bullshit. Not ain't gonna weed out the liars. It ain't gonna weed out.
It doesn't. It doesn't weed out any of it.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. Let me tell you why I say that. Because I know me. I'll be honest. If a woman said on her profile she was looking for a God-fearing man, you know what I did? Swipe left. You know what she did? We said, like, there was certain triggering terms. No matter how good that woman looked, I said, I'm not gonna swipe on that. And she said she wanted kids. Swipe left. I'm not gonna play that game. Now there's these things that are nuanced. Dating with a purpose, dating for marriage. Those things. Am I here for that? Am I not? Those are the things you got to worry about. But there are certain things that you weed people out for. So I'll say there is a weeding out process that'll happen if you drop. I'm not saying it's going to weed out every fraud. I'm going to say at least give yourself a chance by at least putting some things down there that are specific to what you want. So at least when that motherfucker show up and they ain't what you want, or at least you can say, hey, did you read my profile before you swipe right? Did you read that? Go now before you read this, before we exchange messages, I need you to go back and read that and then tell me if you're interested. See, a lot of you motherfucking dudes didn't read that woman said TS on her profile. So y'all didn't read that. And that wasn't no woman, that was a T.
She's still a woman, but we're not going to have that conversation here.
Wait, what
But
happened?
Hey, we gonna have that conversation. That's another day. That's another day.
that's another day. Another day.
Man.
Another day. Another day.
But
I have opinions, but another day. But now here I have a question for you based on
Go ahead.
a question for you based on what you just said. Who do you think is more likely to lie on a dating app profile, men or women?
Man.
That's my point. That's why I say it doesn't weed out anything. That's why I say it doesn't weed out anything. You know, I'm 5'7". Hold on.
Wait. Women lie. See, men will lie with their
women
words.
lie. They do.
They'll lie with their appearances more than their words. Men will lie with
That's
words
fair.
more with appearances.
I'll give you that.
Men are going to way more often say something that they know is totally would. I mean,
Man, look.
if you want to be honest, y'all want me to be honest?
Of course.
Go ahead.
No, I wouldn't. If you swipe, I won't say what year. There was a certain year that if you had swipe right, and I said I was looking for a girlfriend. Define girlfriend. Define it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I could be honest in that. I can be honest in that.
I mean, I'm 5'7", so I'm not a short woman, but I'm not necessarily a tall woman either. And I wear heels 3, 4, 5 inches. You'd be amazed at the dudes. Oh yeah, I'm 6'2", and you shorter than me in heels, sir.
Yeah, you gonna know
the math ain't nothing. The math ain't nothing. Or, yeah, me and my baby mama ain't together. We just still live in the same house. Sir, go away.
Wait. Let me pause that. Let me address that really. Here's the thing, and I take exception to that because I went through a real separation.
That's married though.
Yeah,
that's married.
Yeah, I went through a real separation. Like even married people say, "Oh, we married, but we separated." But listen, when you actually separate and you do that thing for real, it's messed up that people use that because there's agreements that people come to. Like me and my ex, we knew before our divorce was official that we were done, so we could date, so we would have honest conversations with people. We're separated, but we're dating. What's unfortunate is there are people that have the circumstances that allow them to move on and move forward. I mean, a divorce can take X amount of time based on all the little nuances and all the circumstances and all the red tape and whatever the case may be. So the dudes,
but I said baby mama, not wife.
Yeah, you did. But even then, man, you can't be living with no woman. You can't be living with anybody. I'm about dating somebody else. How does that? Where you gonna go? Who go to who crib?
His mama house.
Well, you can't come over.
His homeboy crib when he out of town.
How does that work? I gotta go to a hotel. Oh man, I mean, getting a hotel is fun to spice things up every now and then. But that $40 date, now that's a date, nigga. Now you a $200 date for real. You gotta get a hotel.
Now you go to the red roof.
You said what?
Now you go to the red roof.
Red roof.
Hey,
sir, we Hilton Honors Diamond over here.
I told you she was a baller. I told you she had that bread. Hilton Diamond. I don't know goddamn Hilton Diamond. What is that? You know, last time I heard of diamond customers, I was working in hospitality. Ever since I've been using hospitality, I ain't never been a diamond nothing.
I've been diamond for about 3 years.
Damn, must be nice.
I'm parking a special parking space and everything. Pull up in the Tesla, put my charger on, and go on inside.
See how she said that? You see how she said that?
She's stunning. She's stunning.
Just a little bit.
She threw Tesla in there real sharp, didn't her?
I did.
But okay,
but Mr. Burns money.
Hop into the safe. Okay, but I need you to swim back and say something. I need you to repeat something. You spoke about the way that the apps target. So the way that algorithms and the way everything is built essentially get you a match, basically. Is that all it's built to do is get you a match?
So I'll be even more upfront with it. A lot of the modern apps run artificial intelligence simulations that pretty much prey on your activity. So, if somebody is experiencing some sort of loneliness in their lives, they're more likely to go looking for other people. So that app actually adjusts based on that person's behavior. Then you have the customer journey marketing piece of it, that for that one person who may have signed up and then never come back to the app, they keep trying to get you to come back. So the apps themselves kind of prey on loneliness, to be honest, because they're constantly wanting you to go through this list of profiles to stay there. So it's not necessarily helping you find your forever mate so much as it's helping you to
being on there, your frequency being on there, So it's just like social media. The frequency of
yes, it absolutely is.
And in the commercial, they get things that pop up. Because I can tell you now, when you swipe on those apps, after about 20 swipes, you get an ad. Another 20 swipes, you get an ad. Another 20. God damn. It's all about the money.
It's a social experiment. It's business. And a lot of people put a lot of stock into these apps, which is why Tinder ended up where Tinder was. Tinder became a hookup app. It was one of the first ones that kind of got you to that instant gratification a lot faster versus your older apps like your Match.coms. They actually tried to get you, that forever person. These new apps just want you to stay on the app and interact with people. So they're not necessarily going to show you the people who you would probably like. They're going to show you a whole bunch of people they know you won't like, because all of those clicks now get to their advertisers. Well, we average 13 million clicks a day.
Wow.
It's a business, man. And of course, I'm a software engineer. This is my wheelhouse. So I know all the tricks. So every app I've signed up on, I might have used it a day and I was like, nah, because I can see what the algorithm is doing. It's a trap. It's literally a trap.
I need software engineer on my rise to influencer and social media fame payroll. I'm gonna need a software engineer.
I'm here. I charge $220 an hour, so get your checkbook.
God dang. No wonder she got a Tesla.
Hey,
there's a guitar on that wall right there. I'm gonna take that to the pawn shop first. I'm gonna take that one there first. Yeah, damn. You know what? Let me. And I'm a man. We got some good information. We don't have to get you back on here, Sheffy. But we at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I waited.
I'm gonna say this. Just speaking to that part of it, that business part of it. There's a level, because my boy, my man right here, he's an amazing illustrator. Man, listen.
Appreciate you.
Listen. So I can draw. You know what I'm talking about? But he might be better than me. He probably is really several levels better than what I am. I didn't know this when I met him, but dude is exceptionally talented. And so I remember when just the length of time that it takes to do something, whether it's tech, whether it's art, whatever it is, the length of time that it takes me to produce a monologue that I post on these YouTubes and everything. The length of time, I remember when I first started researching this stuff, and I was like, all right, I want to just make a video and post it. But I want it to look like these other people's videos. So I said, let me Google and see how much somebody would charge me for me to send them the raw video and shrink it down to 30 minutes. And do all the stuff to make it look like what I'm getting, my videos are getting look like. Out there, what they was charging, y'all got me fucked up. I'll do it myself. Let me tell you something.
I paid $10,000 for a 1-minute commercial before.
Let me tell you something. If I had the to pay somebody to sit there and do the editing and the cutting and the music and the banners and all the little things. And the more I do it, the more meticulous I get with it. If I had the money to pay them, so now when I go back and look at their prices, I'll just tell them all day, I said, hey man, I can get paid to do this in a little while. I said, I might be able to get to a point where I can say to people, hey, send me your videos, I get them down. I get that 2-hour thing down to 35 minutes if you need me to. But the work that it takes, I have a respect for it the same way I get respect for this bro who can kind of draw better than I can. And I don't really want to acknowledge it, but and with respect to your profession, the work and that goes with it. When you say $200 an hour, that's because in an hour what you can do, the average can't do. And if they Google it and try, they're not going to be able to do it in an hour. It's going to take days and
about
days
3 months.
Yes, days and days and weeks and months for them to finally get to the point where they say, I think I can get it done in a day. I can get it done in a day. God damn. I think on the professional side of things, people tend to think outside of the physical world, like a mechanic. You know good and well you got to go pay a mechanic. You know, if you call a plumber, you got to pay a plumber. You know, if you got to get surgery, you got to pay a surgeon. But every single thing out that takes time and skill and practice and an investment in a talent, you got to pay what them people want for that. If you want the best, if you want what you gonna pay. Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on here, Chef. Man, look,
absolutely.
Man.
Thank you for having me.
You made a little too much sense, man. I was hoping that's why I'm here to argue.
A whole lot of sense.
I mean, I don't have a problem with. So I don't agree with everything all the time. I'm just, if it makes sense, it makes sense. There are a lot of things that a lot of men say on some of these like relationship podcasts. I'm like, sir, that don't make a lick of damn sense. And then it goes, you just a woman, and that's why you say that. No, I'm with you when you're right.
Yeah.
But you're wrong.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Man, let's talk it up to a good night. This is a good one. 2 hours and 14 minutes. I swear every time, man, we're going to be on for an hour and a half. We're going to be on an hour and a half. Somewhere at the end, to get into it, we venture off into it. But we'll close this one on out. Y'all have a good night.
Nice to meet you.
You too. I'm sending you a friend request too when we get off.
All right.
But I had to remind you, nigga. You skipped the subject.
Which one?
We supposed to talk about how how did baby mama, baby daddy become
that's our next one. No, that's our next one. That's next week.
That's next week. Man. Okay.
Next week we're gonna talk about how did baby mama and baby daddy, the reference of a baby mama and baby daddy evolve into a goddamn relationship. How did that happen?
A lot of foolishness.
That's just my baby mama. That's just my baby daddy. We need to understand how that happened.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Now.